Hey, how's it going, you guys? Spidey64 back here again with yet another NASCAR race review recap along with F1, but we're not going to talk about F1 a lot in this video because it was a stinker of a race. F1 was in the morning. But anyways, so here are the topics for today's video. So first up, we're going to talk about the F1 British GP. And then we're going to talk about the NASCAR race from Loudon, New Hampshire. And no, I'm not going to try the New Hampshire accent because pretty much everyone knows this New Hampshire accent is pretty much terrible. So, yeah, and plus, I don't even know how it sounds. And most of these people are trying to sound like they're from New York, but not from New York. If you're from New Hampshire, tell me how you guys kind of talk, or up in New England. So anyways. Talk about the F1 British GP. So for the first 49 laps throughout the whole entire race, Lewis Hamilton was dominating. Not much was going on. We had two big crashes, K-Mag and Danny Kvyat, which, by the way, Danny Kvyat's crash, that was a pretty hard hit by the AlphaTauri driver, but thank goodness he was okay. There was a lot of battle in the midfield, but, I mean, it wasn't really all that interesting, I don't think. And I think the reason was because, like, Nico Hülkenberg was supposed to be in this race, but something went wrong with the car, and now he didn't even get to start the freaking race, dude. Which is just unfortunate, you know? And, he's set to run next weekend's, British, he's set to run the 70th anniversary Grand Prix, but Sergio Perez may come back, but yeah. So the first 49 laps were pretty much boring. Nothing happened other than what I mentioned before. There were some midfield battles, yes, but literally the two Mercedes blow their front left tires. And I thought, now the race gets interesting. And literally, I got fooled by David Croft just by saying Lewis Hamilton blew a tire. Freaking 2 laps too late, dude. 2 laps too late, dude. What the heck? So, pretty much what happened was that, Red Bull threw away the race by pitting 2 laps early, which I don't even know if they had to do that. I don't even know, you know? Like, did they have to do that? Because literally Max Verstappen threw a win away. He literally did throw a win away. And then here comes freaking Lewis Hamilton just winning the British GP. You know, I'm not complaining about Lewis Hamilton winning a lot, you know? Because Mercedes is, of course, the dominant team right now. I really hate Lewis Hamilton, just as a person, honestly. Really, he's just one of my least favorite athletes, probably, of all time. You know, but like I said, if you want a video as to why I don't like Lewis, you can ask me in the comments below. Maybe I'll give you a detailed description, or I'll maybe just make a video entirely about it. But so yeah, it's kind of a stinker for me, just watching Lewis just dominate this whole race. When Verstappen could have won, you can blame that on Red Bull. Also, Ferrari got a lucky podium. So yeah, Sebastian Vettel was nowhere in the top 5 or nowhere in the top 10. My God, that Ferrari is just, the Ferrari this year is just crap. So not much to talk about that race. It literally got interesting for like the last 2 laps, or like the last 3 laps. Literally everyone was blowing tires by the end of the race. Like, dude. Alright, now it's time to talk about the New Hampshire Cup race, which I got a little positive things to say about the Cup race from New Hampshire. This race, in terms of New Hampshire standards, I thought was pretty good. And I'll give you my thoughts on it solely right here. So, what made this race, I think, enjoyable really to watch was that while there was a lot of battles for the lead, the drivers 1 and 2, like the dominant drivers were Brad Keselowski and Denny Hamlin. They never separated from each other. They were close, very, very close. Like, they were battling throughout the whole race. They were the two dominant cars of the race. And you had drivers coming or you got the third place driver also battling for the lead too. Like, there was one point there where Brad K, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, and Matty D were battling for the lead at one point. Then a caution came out, which, there was a lot of cautions for blown tires. Like, Matt Kenseth kept blowing up a tire, which, my God, dude, Matt Kenseth's having a bad season, dude. Oh, my God. You know, I do like Matt Kenseth being back in the Cup Series, but, quoting, I forget who, but he kind of needs to retire already. Or, I don't know. Dude, I don't know. I don't freaking know. So, one of the big highlights of this race was Kyle Busch wrecking out in, like, the first 15 laps. He took a pretty hard hit to the wall, and that was pretty scary, though, but my God, dude. I mean, Kyle Busch is just having a terrible season. In terms of Kyle Busch standards, like, if this was Matthew Benedetto, like, standards, if Matthew Benedetto was driving like this, that would be a freaking great season in his standards. But for Kyle Busch standards, this is a terrible season. I mean, he'll make the playoffs, but he doesn't have that many playoff points to get in. So that's something he has to work on. And considering that there's not many races left into the... Like, how many races are left? Like, 8 or 7 races until the playoffs? Like, we got the Michigan doubleheader. We got the Daytona road course, which we don't know what's going to happen there. We got the Dover... Yeah, we got the Dover doubleheader, and I'm pretty sure it's the Daytona night race. I think that's how it goes, but... Yeah, but... Wow, that was... pretty bad for Kyle Busch, and he always seems to have bad luck in the pedigree car. I don't know if any of you just noticed that. He has a lot of bad luck in the pedigree car. But anyways, like I said, a lot of drivers were having blownouts. Some of them were running good, and some just fall back. Like, Christopher Bell was running pretty good in this race, and then he had a blown tire, and that pretty much ended his day in contention. Jimmy Johnson got spun out due to Clint Boyer basically putting a bad block on him. Once again, the bad luck continues for Jimmy Johnson. Even though he finished 12th in the race, still, he's nowhere to be making the playoffs, honestly. Dude, he's not... I don't think Jimmy's going to make the playoffs. That's what, honestly, I think. It would be incredible if he does get into the playoffs. Like I said, we don't know what's going to happen at the Daytona road course and then the Daytona night race. Like, that's 2 wild cards when you kind of consider it. So, yeah. What was I going to say also? This race, in terms of New Hampshire standards, it was pretty good. So, even though, like, the finish wasn't too crazy, there was actually, like, a fuel mileage finish, or there was actually fuel mileage going into play, and that got me excited, because I'm like, we don't have that many NASCAR races where we have fuel mileage, dude. Like, if there's one thing that these stages have done that has really ruined some form of the racing, it's fuel mileage. Like, honestly, just think about it. Just think about, like, if this didn't have any stages, I guarantee you, like, this would have been it would have probably had a great finish, but hey, I think that's asking way too much in terms of NASCAR standards, so, yeah. So, right around the end of the race, Brad Keselowski was just trying to save fuel. Chad Canals was bitching on the radio on William Byron, which, not surprised, really, since he's not having that great of a season. So, and Brad Keselowski wins New Hampshire for his 3rd race. Not his 3rd win in a row. I don't know why I wanted to say that. But Brad K won the New Hampshire 301. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good win by Brad K. Denny Hamlin, I think, finished 2nd. Then it was Mark Truex Jr. Mark Truex Jr. had a pretty good day. He was quiet all day long. You know, ended up finishing 3rd. Then it was Joey Logano. Then it was Kevin Harvick. Matthew Benedetto, my man. Great finish after that wreck last Thursday. Or 2 weeks ago, practically. So, yeah. Pretty good. Pretty good stuff. I don't know what else you want for me to say right there. You know, going into this race, I had very high expectations. I wasn't going to think this was going to be a great race. Honestly, I was kind of expecting maybe an upset winner. Like, I'm surprised we haven't had an upset winner, like, throughout these last 2 races, dude. I don't know. If I were to think who would be an upset winner, who would be the next upset winner, I have to think it's either going to be William Byron or, like, Tyler Reddick is going to break through and win one of these races one of these days. It's going to be one of them who's going to do it. One of them is going to pull off an upset. But, I mean, I don't think William Byron's going to be, like, a big upset considering that he drives for Hendrick. But Tyler Reddick would be a big upset, too, because he's also a rookie. And just imagine there being 2 rookies in the playoffs. We haven't had that since Chris Buescher and Chase Elliott in 2016. I don't know. I'm asking way too much. So, overall, an 8 out of 10 race, I think. Like I said, the last stage didn't have that much of a dramatic finish. Anticlimactic, to say the least. But also, hey, I'm glad this race was better, other than the shitty F1 race in the morning. You know, I'll still watch F1 though, because hey, I still like the sport. I still love F1. So, thank you for watching this video. I don't know what else you want me to say. Also, if you're wondering when's the next Spidey Ditko Cup race, I'm still waiting on one more diecast to come in, and then I'll start filming Martinsville, and then we'll go from there, practically. And also, I'm starting online school again, so I hope that doesn't affect the Spidey schedule either. But I hope it doesn't. I hope it doesn't. And also, if you're wondering what diecast I'm waiting for a Ross Chastain Advent Health car that got recently released. So, still waiting on that. So, I'll give you updates probably on my Instagram and all that. So, thank you all for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Stay positive and drink Pepsi.